So you need a strategy that will ultimately change your life in the trading game. Well, let me go ahead and show you this right now. I'm going to tell you before we start, this is the strategy that will change your life all the way through 2026 and beyond. The market moves in a very spectacular way where this strategy works extremely well when it comes to identifying liquidity, identifying different things in the markets so that you could apply this strategy and become profitable here in 2026. So before we jump into the strategy, make sure you guys go ahead and join the Discord down below in the description. Join the community, join and get all of my strategies for free on my channel, guys. And let's get this bread, let's get this money in 2026, guys. With that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump right in here. And you may ask, okay, cool, this is a strategy that's going to change my life, but what are the rules? Let me go ahead and show you those rules here. So we have the rules and we have some more rules on the side. Okay, this is going to be literally 5 steps. Okay, this is 3 out of the 5 so far. We're simply going to determine bias. We have a liquidity, highs and lows above or below. Do we have an SMT? When it comes to the strategy, we're going to start on the 15-minute time frame. As you can see, in the morning I wake up, I do my bias. Is there a liquidity draw or do we have an SMT? Those 2 things. I'm going to run this down for you. Okay, if you're a beginner, if you're advanced, cool. Awesome. Okay, whatever you are, this strategy is ultimately going to make you profitable in 2026. What are we looking for? Well, liquidity draw. Did we hit a liquidity or do we have any liquidities above or below? We have this low on NASDAQ. All right, so I like the look of these relative equal highs. They kind of wicked. They wicked evenly here, as you could see. So this is a nice draw on liquidity above. So I like these highs. However, this low seems pretty prominent because we could probably sweep this if we did not make an SMT. Let's go ahead and check if we made an SMT. All right, we're going to go on ES. So right here, before we go on ES though, we have a low, a higher low. If we go on ES, let's see. Boom. Yes, perfect. So look at, we have a low followed by a lower low. This right here is an SMT on both indexes, okay, as you can see. So we have a higher low here on NASDAQ, and we got this low that's lower than this low. So what are we looking for now? Cool, that means that we're bullish. We're going to be bullish. And if we have relative equal highs above, we're definitely going to be bullish. I'm going to go down the 5-minute. Now, let's check here. We have this massive gap price could retrace to. Okay, so I'm still bullish. I'm still bullish for these highs. I just want to see how price, if we catch along. We're bullish because we have a liquidity draw on the highs. And then we also have an SMT at the lows, which ultimately indicates that we're going to be bullish in the market. All right. Now, simple as that. That simple. Now we're going to go on the 1-minute time frame. And all we're going to be looking for is a smaller time frame liquidity sweep. Preferably, I like to see a 1-minute liquidity sweep on a prominent low or a high. All right, so if we look here, when market opens to maybe one of these lows, maybe this low, okay, I want to see a nice eager liquidity sweep here. And eager, I mean a nice level where price hits it pretty quickly. Okay, I want to see price hit some of these lows pretty quickly. Preferably this low would be ideal, but we're just going to see how price plays out. Price opens. Okay, we're not going to take any trades at open. No trading at open. All right, no trading before market with this strategy. We're simply trading from 9:30 a.m. open to, or actually technically 9:31, because I don't ever trade the 9:30 a.m. candle because it's really manipulative in the market. Okay, the first minute of open is very manipulative. From 9:31, I trade all the way till 11 o'clock. That's simple. Okay, just an hour and a half of trading. Now, price open, price came down. Now, we want to see a nice smaller time frame liquidity sweep. Do we have a sweep? Do we sweep this low or this low? We have not yet. We're simply just going to wait till price sweeps a low. We actually did tap in this fair value gap, but I'm still bullish for these highs up here later on. All right, we have a nice down candle here. Maybe we could catch a nice liquidity sweep, which actually we have another low that we made at open on that 9:30 a.m. candle. Price did indeed sweep that. So since price did sweep that, I want to go ahead and find an inversion fair value gap. Okay, before we go to our entry rules, I want to see an inversion fair value gap. You could see on the 1 minute, you could see it on the 30-second. Okay, depends on what trader you are. However, I like to see preferably on the 45-second or the minute. And I'll tell you why the 45-second. Because the 45-second, after a prominent liquidity sweep on a smaller time frame, I like to get a nice quick scalp entry. Let's go on the 45-second time frame. So we had that sweep here. We're simply going to wait for that inversion fair value gap to occur. Now we have not had an inversion fair value gap yet. Okay, right here we did get an inverse. As you could see, this was a gap, smaller gap. I usually don't only trade smaller gaps, but this is not a bad ideal location to go long if it closed above here. Remember, it has to close. Since it did not close above, we're not going to take this because it had a nice rejection going lower. Maybe we could resweep this low, but we're just going to see what price gives us here. So we're simply just going to wait for more candles, guys. We got to be really patient. Look at this. We swept both of these lows now. Okay, so that's even more confirmation that price could potentially reverse. Okay, it could get down to this low. It can get down to this low. But if we get a nice inversion here, see this gap? If we get a nice inversion above this, I don't mind going long to target liquidities above. So now with this strategy for the entry, we're simply going to go ahead and enter at the IFVG close, okay? So you could enter here if you like. However, if you would like to wait for a slight retest, okay, or a deeper retracement into this fair value gap to retest and go higher, you absolutely can with this strategy. And that's what's pretty cool about the strategy, because it could change things up in a way where it could increase the win rate just by simply waiting for a retest. For a better risk to reward ratio, just depends on you and your trading style. However, I like to just enter at the FVG close because sometimes you don't get the retrace here. So I'm simply just gonna enter right there on the IFVG. Stops will be the swing low. Okay, if it's too much of a stop, this is 60 handles. It's a lot for the NASDAQ. You go ahead and enter there with your stops either at the swing low or just slightly above, depending where the liquidity is. For this example, liquidity's here at this high. This truly would have been my stop area here. However, since the liquidity is here for the 1-on-1 risk to reward, then I would just move it up slightly. What happens now? Let's go and see what price does. Price, maybe we could get a slight retrace going higher. Just depends. Most likely, sometimes we don't though on the 45-second time frame. And it looks like price did hit that 1-to-1 risk to reward. All right. So now, since we've done that, now we could simply trail our stops. Or we could go ahead and take a profit at 1-to-1, or you could trail up maybe to a 1.5 risk to reward, or even to a 1-to-2. How would a 1-to-2 look? About there. And eventually, looks like we did hit it there. So it did take a little bit. This trade would be a little longer, but for a 1-to-2 risk to reward, that is not bad, guys. Okay, all simply just determining a bias. Okay, do we have an SMT or liquidity above, below, etc. And simply just wait for another liquidity sweep on a smaller time frame, followed by an inversion fair value gap on the 45 seconds or the minute time frame. That simple. And basically, I just showed you a maker model, a money maker model, guys, that will benefit your life in 2026 and beyond. Join the Discord, guys. I have all my secret strategies on my Discord so that you could go ahead and thrive when it comes to trading. And this is my most recent strategy here. So go ahead and use this, guys. Use this to your advantage, all right? Discord's down in the link in the description. Go ahead and join that right now.